This tutorial will walk you through how to create and update an invoice. If you haven't yet set up a Wave account and linked it to VoiceOverview, you'll need to do that before you can create an invoice. Let's get started. Now that you've connected your VoiceOverview account to your Wave Apps account, you're almost ready to create and send your first invoice. But first, if you're new to Wave Apps, before you create an invoice, you'll want to create a service offering. If you've been using Wave Apps already, you likely have one or more service offerings already available. To set up a new service offering, click on Sales and Payments. Then, scroll to Products and Services at the bottom of the list. Click that. You can see here that I've already created a number of products and services. If you're just starting out, you'll probably want to create VoiceOver recording as your first service offering. So, let's do that now. Click on the Add Product or Service button in the upper right corner. Add the name. Let's see, I'll type VoiceOver recording and I'll add a 1 just so I know that this is my test entry. You'll leave the description field blank. This is where VoiceOverview will take the information in the job title field and populate it in the invoice. Leave the price at 0 because VoiceOverview will populate that from the rate you entered for the job. Click Sell This, Sales, and Save. Now that your service offering is available, it's time to create your first invoice. Let's go back to VoiceOverview. Navigate to the job list. You can see that I have a couple of jobs here that need to be invoiced. To invoice, click on the job link in the left-hand column. We're not going to edit the job, so don't use the edit pencil. That will not give us the ability to create an invoice. When I click on the job title, I enter the job view page. And now that we've connected our VoiceOverview account to Wave Apps, we have a new link. Create Invoice. Click this, and the Create Invoice pop-up appears. This is where the magic happens. You'll notice here that Add Job Title as Line Item is the default selection. If I keep this selected, the job title of every invoice that I create will show up over here in my Products and Services list. I don't really want that. What I want is a clean list of products and services and itemized invoices. So I'll deselect that. Now the drop-down menu is activated, and I can select an item. Let's select VoiceOver recording. Now, if this was my first invoice created through VoiceOverview and Wave Apps, what I would want to do is add my invoice number here. The last invoice that I created in Wave Apps was 2732. So I'm going to type 2733 here. You'll notice the Update Common Contacts button. I recommend clicking that every once in a while just to make sure that all of your contacts are synced between VoiceOverview and Wave Apps. And click Create Invoice. Let's review it to make sure it's right. Click on the View link. Here's how my invoices look. I have VoiceOver recording, the job title, the rate, and the invoice number that I populated. Super simple and super fast. And if everything looks great, you can go back to VoiceOverview and you can send it right from here. In fact, I'll do that right now. You can customize your subject line and write a personal note to your client and send. Now that my invoice has been sent, the badge indicates sent and the invoice status has updated to invoiced. Pretty slick, huh? Let's try another one. Navigate to Review All Jobs. Now I'm going to invoice this job. Click on the Job Title link and Create Invoice link under Invoice Type. Since I deselected Add Job Title as Line Item, that becomes my default, and I can pick from the drop-down list. Again, I'll select VoiceOver recording. This time, I don't have to add the invoice number because now Wave Apps will automatically assign the next number in the sequence, 2734. The next invoice will be 2735, 2736, and so on. Click Create Invoice, and there you go. Let's take a look at it. Looks perfect. Now, let's say I want to edit this invoice and add more jobs to it. Click on Go Back to Wave. If you're not signed in, you won't see this button, so make sure you've signed into Wave Apps. To update the information in the invoice or add a new job, click on Edit Invoice. Now, let's add another job. Select Add an Item. Now you can see your drop-down list, VoiceOver recording. Navigate back to your VoiceOverview tab and the job list. Let's say I want to add this job to it. So I'll copy that, Command-C in Mac or Control-C on PC. Go back to Wave Apps, Command-V or Control-V to paste it into the description field, and then add your fee. Let's add another job to this invoice. Click Add an Item, VoiceOver Recording. Go back to VoiceOverView job list. Copy the job title, go back to Wave Apps, paste, add your rate, and save. This is a quick and easy way to add multiple jobs to a single invoice. And when I go back to VoiceOverView and I look at the original job that I used to create the invoice, I'll click on the View link, and there it is. All of my jobs are itemized right here, professional and ready to go. And if I wanted to send it, I'll click the Send link, update the subject line, write my note, and click Send Invoice. Super simple. Let's take a quick look at the other action links. So we've looked at View and Send. Update opens a new tab just like View, but it reminds you that you need to click on the Go Back to Wave button. And then finally, there's Delete. If I realize that I don't want to use this invoice for some reason, all I need to do is delete it. And I actually don't want to send this invoice, so I'll say yes. And there you go, my invoice is deleted. This is everything you need to know about invoicing through Wave Apps and VoiceOverView. I hope it was helpful. VoiceOverView, your voiceover business made simple.